let me take this opportunity once again to welcome my viewers to this presentation on civic education. And I will not forget to thank you viewers because of taking the initiative of visiting the KICD website, and especially those parents who have CBC learners within their homes. I have seen that a number of parents are taking that advice seriously. A number of parents have gone ahead and read guidelines on parental empowerment and engagement, which is again on that website. Remember, parents, when it comes to May, we are expecting to have the learners who are in grade 9 to choose or to select their pathways based on their interest and ability. For today, I'm looking at civic education. After considering a number of aspects, Flockill Show has found that one of the challenges that our Kenyans have is that we don't have a lot of civic education, and especially those who are aged between that years and above. Because with the lower group, they have already learned a lot of civic education through the curriculum. And by the way, you'll be surprised to realize that the learner, the CBC learner in your house, understands very well a lot of content about civic education because he has already been taken through social studies, which is in the CBC curriculum. Civic education in Kenya is a crucial process aimed at empowering citizens with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to effectively participate in the democratic processes and governance of a country. I need to give a breakdown of this. What is civic education? In simple way of looking at civic education, it refers to teaching citizens about their rights and responsibilities. Number 2, promoting understanding of democracy, governance, and rule of law. Number 3, enabling people to actively participate in public affairs and decision-making processes. Then, in our Constitution 2010, this was already taken care of, and that was around over 10 years ago. What is there in the legal and policy framework for civic education in Kenya? In our Constitution 2010, Article 33 is talking of freedom of expression. Article 35 is talking about right to access information, especially what I'm doing now. I have the right to visit websites or government websites and access information which is at their disposal. And I urge you parents to also do the same, because Article 35 is giving you that power. Article 38 of the Constitution 2010 is talking about political rights. Article 69, obligations relating to the environment, that is public participation. Our Constitution 2010 entrenched one very serious component, which is public participation. There could not be any process or government process or anything which happens without going through the process of public participation. And over the years, we have seen this happen, including what has recently happened about the rolling out of the new guidelines of senior schools. Article 10 talks about national values, which emphasizes public participation, democracy, and transparency. And then number 2, we have the County Governments Act 2012. Section 100 and 102 requires counties to promote civic education for public participation in local governance. And then number 3 is on Basic Education Act 2013. In that act, it integrates civic education in the school curriculum. And that is how important civic education is in as far as our Constitution is concerned. It is entrenched in our Constitution. And when I was doing some studies, I am not a lawyer, but I happened to do some units which are mentioning about some laws and bills. I was somewhere informed that we also have hierarchy of law, whereby the constitution comes first, then we follow with others like acts of parliament and so on. So you can see how serious civic education is if it is already in the constitution. Then, who provides civic education in Kenya? The following are entitled to provide civic education. Number one, government institutions. For example, the IEBC, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, provides voter education. Ministry of Education includes civic topics in the school curriculum, CBC. In other words, the learners who have gone through CBC that are in your house are already aware of a lot of information about civic education because it was part of what they were taught. Then county governments through public forums, barazas, and workshops. Number two, we have the civil society organizations. And then we also have non-governmental organizations. Number three, we have media, TV, radio, and online platforms run civic education campaigns, especially during election periods. Then number four, we have faith-based organizations. Engage communities on ethics, leadership, and moral responsibility. And here now we have to take the church to be at the center stage in providing civic education. So any church is entitled to provide civic education. Civic education in Kenya covers the Constitution and Bill of Rights, structure and functions of national and county governments, elections and voting, roles of citizens, leaders, and public institutions, human rights and freedoms. Then we have national values and principles, public participation and accountability, peace building, and conflict resolution. And what are the goals of civic education? The goals of civic education are one, to promote informed citizenship, to strengthen democracy and rule of law, encourage active participation in governance, reduce political apathy, and increase accountability. What are the challenges of civic education in our country? One is low literacy in some regions, political interference or bias. Number three, inadequate funding and coordination. Number four, language barriers in rural areas. Then in this, therefore, we would look at how civic education has been entrenched in the competency-based curriculum. Why is it that the learners we have in CBC are so much versed with the civic education? It is because of the following reasons. In CBC, civic education appears in the following. Number one, early years in education, pre-primary to grade 3. Civic concepts are introduced through environmental activities, religious education, and social activities. The focus areas: knowing the family, community roles, understanding rules, respect and sharing, and fairness. Then the second level where it is introduced is middle school, where we have grades 4 and 6. That is where we have grades 4 to 6. And in that case, we have social studies, and we have Christian religious education, Islamic religious education, and Hindu religious education. The key concepts covered at these grades are governance and leadership, rights and responsibilities of citizens, the rule of law, patriotism and national unity, the role of county and national government, public participation, peace, conflict resolution. Then in the next level, we go to junior secondary, grades 7 to 9, where we have social studies, life skills, and religious education. Under these, learners explore the following: the Constitution of Kenya, democracy and participation, human rights and social justice, elections and leadership, environmental and social accountability. And from there, we move on to senior secondary, which is grades 10 to 12, where we have electives like citizenship education, history, and or governance. Under these, more advanced learning will be on civic responsibility, public institutions, global citizenship, ethics and integrity, devolution, and sustainable development. And what are the core competencies addressed in civic education? One of them is citizenship, most directly linked. Then the other one is self-efficacy. The other one is communication and collaboration. Then we have critical thinking, digital literacy, especially understanding online civic issues. What are the values emphasized in this curriculum about civic education? Responsibility, respect, integrity, unity, patriotism, equity, and social justice. And then we have a sample activity, grade 5, social studies. The topic is roles of citizens in the community. The activity, learners interview local leaders or elders about their role in promoting peace. Learners create posters showing citizen responsibilities like voting, obeying laws, protecting the environment. And what is the competency sought for here? Citizenship and communication. And what is the value? Responsibility and patriotism. You can imagine, parent, the learner in your house has gone through this. They understand because they are supposed to question the local leaders on their role in leadership and promoting integrity in the society. Having said that, I would say that parents, it is very important that all of us become very much focused on what is happening, because competency-based curriculum is the way to go. Competency-based curriculum, as the Flockel show will bring it later, is that it was brought in by the person who initially brought it for 4. And that was none other than Professor Douglas Odhiambo. In 1981, around 1981, they met with Mackay, he deputized Mackay, they brought it for 4. Later on, in 2011, Professor Douglas Odhiambo was called again to align the curriculum to the Constitution 2010 and Vision 2030. And as we have always said, when you see the crocodile leave the water, comes to you and tell you that the hippo is sick, then you have no reason to doubt, because you yourself, you do not live in water. Thank you so much. Continue viewing Flockel show. We shall continue interacting. And I'm very impressed that now, parents, you have taken your active role in safeguarding the rights and interests of your learners. Thank you so much, and continue viewing our channel.